Ladies and gentlemen, every person in this room has within them the seeds of greatness. Not just potential, but untapped power. The kind that builds companies, transforms families, and leaves a mark on the world. But potential doesn't unlock itself. It must be discovered, disciplined, and driven into action. Success is not an accident. It's a formula, a way of thinking, a way of doing, a way of living. Let me share with you 8 principles that can help you unlock your true potential. No fluff, no hype, just proven strategies that work when you do. Clarity is the foundation of all success. Without it, even the most talented individuals drift aimlessly, never quite reaching their potential. Clarity means knowing exactly what you want in every area of your life, your career, your finances, your health, your relationships. When your goals are vague, your efforts become scattered. But when you have clear, specific objectives, your mind locks onto them like a guided missile and your actions become focused and purposeful. Your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. It works best when it's given a clear target. If you tell it, "I want to be successful," it doesn't know what that means. But if you say, "I want to earn $100,000 a year doing work I love by December 31st, now your brain has something to work with. It will begin filtering opportunities, attracting resources, and activating ideas that help you reach that specific outcome. That's the power of clarity. It activates your inner GPS. Most people never take the time to define what success looks like for them. They get caught in the busyness of life, working hard but not necessarily moving forward. Clarity forces you to pause, reflect, and decide where you actually want to go. It's the difference between being busy and being effective. You can climb the ladder of success, but if it's leaning against the wrong wall, you'll still feel unfulfilled when you reach the top. Clarity ensures your ladder is leaning in the right direction. One of the simplest and most powerful tools for gaining clarity is goal setting. But not just thinking about goals, writing them down. When you put your goals on paper, they become tangible. You create a blueprint for your future. You transform a dream into a plan. Studies have shown that people who write down their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them than those who don't. The very act of writing creates focus, commitment, and intention. Clarity also brings confidence. When you know what you want, you walk differently, speak differently, and act differently. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're measuring yourself against your own clearly defined objectives. You begin to take ownership of your path. You stop waiting for permission and start creating your future because you know what that future looks like. Another benefit of clarity is that it simplifies decision-making. Every choice becomes easier when you have a clear vision. Should you say yes to that opportunity? Should you invest in that program? Should you spend time with that person? If the answer aligns with your clearly defined goals and values, move forward. If it doesn't, say no with confidence. Clarity eliminates confusion and gives you a framework for every decision. Clarity is not just for long-term goals. It also applies to your daily actions. Each morning, ask yourself, what are the top 3 things I must accomplish today that move me closer to my goal? When you begin your day with clarity, you become more productive, more focused, and more fulfilled. You stop reacting and start creating, and by the end of the day, you can measure your progress with confidence. Finally, understand that clarity is a practice. It's not a one-time decision, it's a daily habit. Your goals may evolve, your vision may expand, but the commitment to staying clear must remain constant. Regularly review your goals. Visualize your ideal future. Speak it, write it, feel it. The clearer your picture, the faster you'll get there. Because in the journey of achievement, clarity isn't optional, it's essential. Taking the 100% responsibility for your life is the cornerstone of personal success. It's the moment you draw a line in the sand and say, everything from this point forward is up to me. It means you stop blaming your circumstances, your past, your boss, the economy, or other people. As long as you believe someone or something else is responsible for your situation, you give away your power to change it. Responsibility is not about guilt, it's about control. And when you take full control of your life, you begin to unlock possibilities you never saw before. Every time you say, "I can't because of this," or "it's not my fault," you reinforce the idea that your life is being shaped by forces outside your control. That mindset may feel comforting in the short term. It lets you off the hook. But in the long run, it's poison. It breeds helplessness, frustration, and stagnation. Responsibility flips the script. It says, "If it's going to be, it's up to me." That one shift in thinking can transform your energy, your confidence, and your direction. Responsibility empowers you to stop being a victim and start being a creator. When you take 100% ownership, you stop waiting for the world to change. You change yourself. You stop hoping for the perfect opportunity. You create one. You stop wishing people would treat you differently. You raise your standards and take action. Taking responsibility doesn't guarantee instant success, but it guarantees progress, and progress, over time, creates transformation. The truth is, life will hand you challenges, setbacks, even unfair circumstances. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's where your power lies. Your response determines your result. Two people can experience the same adversity. One gives up, the other grows. The difference is responsibility. One sees themselves as powerless. The other sees themselves as capable of finding a way forward. Taking full responsibility also means owning your results, good or bad. If your finances aren't where you want them to be, own it. If your health isn't where it should be, own it. If your relationships are struggling, own it. This is not about beating yourself up. It's about being honest with yourself. Because once you own the result, you can begin to change the behavior, the thinking, and the habits that created it. This level of personal responsibility requires maturity and courage. It's far easier to point fingers and make excuses. But the most successful people, those who rise, grow, and achieve at high levels, never indulge in blame. They ask better questions, not "who did this to me," but "what can I learn from this? What can I do next? How can I grow through this?" Those questions shift your focus from the problem to the solution, and that's where progress begins. Responsibility is also a daily discipline. It's not just about big life decisions, it's about the small moment-to-moment choices. It's choosing to get up early and follow through. It's choosing to focus rather than procrastinate. It's choosing to respond with patience instead of reacting with anger. These choices compound over time, and as you practice taking full ownership of your day-to-day actions, you begin to develop the identity of a high-performing, self-led individual. Ultimately, responsibility is about freedom. It may sound like a burden, but it's actually the key to breaking free. When you stop waiting on others and start leading yourself, you become unstoppable. You don't need permission, approval, or perfect conditions. You simply take action. You learn, you adjust, and you keep moving. Responsibility isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. It's the path from who you are to who you're capable of becoming. Goal setting is one of the most powerful habits you can develop in your life. People who set clear written goals are far more likely to succeed than those who don't. It's not a theory, it's a fact, proven by decades of psychological and performance research. When you set a goal, you give your mind direction. You activate your subconscious to start filtering information, spotting opportunities, and generating ideas that align with your desired outcome. It's like flipping a switch inside your brain. Suddenly, everything starts to connect to the goal you've defined. But here's the key. Goals only come to life when you write them down. A goal in your head is a wish. A goal on paper is a commitment. Writing forces clarity. It turns abstract ideas into concrete objectives. It triggers intention. It engages multiple parts of your brain and sends a signal that says, this matters. The act of writing is a declaration, not just to the world, but to yourself. It tells your inner voice, this is who I am, and this is where I'm going. And don't just write your goals once and forget them. Write them every single day. This repetition does two things. It keeps your goals at the front of your mind, and it helps you emotionally connect with them. Every time you write your goals, you're reaffirming your vision. You're reminding yourself why you're doing what you're doing. You're anchoring your focus. And in a world full of distractions, that consistent focus is a massive competitive advantage. Daily goal writing also helps you spot misalignment early. If you've written the same goal for 30 days and haven't taken action toward it, that's a signal. Maybe your goal isn't clear enough. Maybe it doesn't inspire you. Maybe it's not your goal at all. It's something you think you should do, not something you truly want. Writing forces you to be honest with yourself. It's not just about productivity, it's about clarity, alignment, and emotional commitment. Start with 3-5 major goals in different areas of your life: financial, career, health, relationships, personal growth. Write each one in the present tense, as if it's already real. For example, I earn $100,000 a year doing work I love, or I am healthy, fit, and full of energy. This language speaks directly to your subconscious. It primes your mind to believe and behave as if the goal is already within reach, and belief is half the battle. Your daily goals become your daily compass. When you begin your day by writing them, you automatically filter your tasks, your schedule, and even your conversations. You start asking yourself, does this move me closer to my goal? That simple question can save you years of wasted time. It keeps you from saying yes to things that don't serve your vision. It builds discipline. It sharpens your time management. It trains you to live intentionally. The truth is, most people never write their goals because they fear disappointment. They don't want to commit. Writing it down makes it real, and real things carry risk of failure, of rejection, of falling short. But here's the paradox. The only way to truly fail is to never aim at all. Writing your goals doesn't guarantee success, but not writing them guarantees drift, and drift leads nowhere worth going. When you discipline yourself to write your goals daily, you're not just shaping your future, you're shaping yourself. You're becoming a person of vision, focus, and you're training your mind to think long-term, to resist short-term temptations, and to align your energy with your purpose. Goal writing isn't just a productivity tool, it's a transformation habit, and like all powerful habits, it compounds over time into extraordinary results. Discipline is often misunderstood. People associate it with restriction, pressure, or punishment. But in reality, discipline is the very thing that sets you free. It gives you control over your life, your results, and your future. The moment you begin practicing discipline daily, deliberate self-control, you take back your power. You're no longer at the mercy of distractions, emotions, or bad habits. You operate by choice, not by chance, and that's real freedom. Most people want the rewards: financial success, health, peace of mind, but they resist the process that creates them. They want the outcome without the effort, but there's no way around it. Everything worthwhile is uphill, and the vehicle that gets you up that hill is discipline. It's doing the right thing at the right time, whether you feel like it or not. It's showing up for yourself when no one's watching. It's making decisions based on your commitments, not your moods. Freedom without discipline is chaos. Just look around. People with no structure in their lives usually live in reaction mode. They spend what they want, eat what they want, say what they want, and often end up stressed, unhealthy, in debt, or stuck in toxic patterns. On the other hand, those who practice consistent self-discipline create momentum. They build routines, keep promises to themselves, and set boundaries that protect their goals. Their discipline becomes their structure, and structure creates peace. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be faithful. Even small daily disciplines, done consistently, produce incredible long-term results. Getting up an hour earlier to read, plan, or exercise may not seem life-changing today, but do it for a year and you'll be unrecognizable. That's the compound effect of discipline. Invisible at first, unstoppable over time. What separates high achievers from everyone else isn't talent, it's consistency. They do what others won't do, over and over, long after the excitement has faded. They understand that motivation is fleeting, but discipline is dependable. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits, and habits are built through repeated acts of discipline. It's not about feeling ready, it's about acting with intention. Discipline builds character. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce your identity as a doer, a finisher, a leader. You stop second-guessing yourself. You develop self-respect. You trust your own word. That inner confidence shows up everywhere, in your work, your relationships, and your ability to bounce back when life gets tough. Discipline isn't just about outcomes, it's about who you become in the process. One powerful way to grow your discipline is to control your environment. Your surroundings either support your success or sabotage it. Eliminate distractions. Set clear boundaries. Design your space and your schedule so that discipline becomes easier, almost automatic. Make the right choice the easy choice. Set up systems, reminders, and routines that support your highest priorities. When your environment is structured for success, your discipline becomes a lot less dependent on willpower. Ultimately, discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. It turns inspiration into execution. It translates vision into action. Anyone can make a wish, but only the disciplined can build a life. It's not glamorous, and it's not always fun, but and over time, the disciplined person gets to enjoy what the undisciplined never will. Real freedom, the freedom to live on your own terms, do work that matters, and become everything you were meant to be. One of the greatest accelerators of success is learning from those who have already done what you want to do. Success leaves clues. No matter what your goal is, whether it's building wealth, starting a business, getting fit, improving relationships, or mastering a skill, someone has already done it. Someone has faced the same challenges, figured out the best strategies, and created a roadmap. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, you just need to find the blueprint and follow it. The fastest way to learn that blueprint is to study the best in your field. Read their books, listen to their interviews, attend their seminars, follow their habits, analyze their decisions. People at the top of their game are constantly sharing insights, often for free or at low cost. All it takes is the humility to learn and the discipline to apply what you've learned. There's no glory in figuring everything out the hard way when shortcuts to wisdom are available at your fingertips. Most people underestimate the power of modeling. They try to succeed by trial and error, often repeating the same mistakes others have already solved. But high performers reverse engineer success. They ask, who has already mastered this? What do they know that I don't? What can I do to emulate their actions? Learning from the best isn't about copying, it's about adapting proven strategies to your unique path. It's about speeding up your progress while avoiding unnecessary detours. If you want to get in shape, you don't need to find a trainer, a fitness expert, or someone who's transformed their body and study what they did. If you want to grow a business, learn from entrepreneurs who've built companies in your industry. If you want to improve your mindset, study thought leaders and personal development pioneers. Make it your mission to become a student of excellence, because excellence is teachable. Learning from the best also resets your standards. When you immerse yourself in the mindset and methods of high achievers, you start thinking bigger. You begin to realize what's possible. Their stories stretch your vision, challenge your excuses, and remind you that greatness is not a mystery, it's a method. The more time you spend around excellence, the less satisfied you become with mediocrity, and that dissatisfaction is a powerful motivator. You don't have to know successful people personally to learn from them. Books are mentors, podcasts are classrooms, online courses, documentaries, interviews, all of these are tools that bring the world's best thinkers and performers right to your fingertips. And when you consistently expose yourself to high-level thinking, it begins to rewire your own. You start to adopt their language, their confidence, their decisiveness. Success becomes less intimidating and more attainable. The key is not just to gather information, but to act on it. Take note. Apply one idea at a time. Track your results. Reflect, refine, and repeat. Too many people consume content passively. They collect quotes and highlight passages, but never implement. Learning from the best requires more than admiration. It demands action. It's not about how much you know, it's about what you do with what you know. Execution turns insight into results. When you commit to learning from the best, you stop wasting time on guesswork and start making meaningful progress. You collapse the timeline between where you are and where you want to be. You gain wisdom without paying the full price of experience. And most importantly, you begin to develop the mindset that every great achiever shares: a relentless hunger to grow, to improve, and to win. Not someday, but today. Time is the most valuable resource you have. More valuable than money, connections, or talent. Because once it's gone forever. The great equalizer in life is that everyone gets 24 hours in a day. The difference between high achievers and everyone else is not time itself, but how it's managed. The most successful people are master planners. They don't let the day run them, they run the day. They don't leave time management to chance, they take control through intentional planning. Planning gives you leverage over time. When you plan your day the night before or first thing in the morning, you start with clarity. You know what matters, what doesn't, and where to direct your energy. Without a plan, the day pulls you in 10 different directions. Emails, notifications, other people's agendas, all of it becomes a distraction. But with a written plan, you take charge. You move through the day with purpose, not pressure. The act of planning forces you to think. You anticipate obstacles, prioritize goals, and make decisions in advance. This reduces stress, increases focus, and gives you a sense of control, even when life gets unpredictable. A well-structured plan doesn't eliminate challenges, but it makes you more prepared to handle them. When you already know your top 3 priorities, it's easier to stay productive even in the face of interruptions or emergencies. Mastering time doesn't mean filling every minute with tasks. It means assigning time to the things that move your life forward. You must distinguish between being busy and being effective. Many people stay busy all day but accomplish very little of real value. The disciplined planner focuses on high-impact activities, those that align with goals, generate results, and build momentum. These are the 20% of tasks that create 80% of progress. That's the essence of time mastery. One powerful habit is to use a daily planner or time blocking system. Allocate time for thinking, working, learning, and rest. Schedule your most important work during your peak hours, when your energy and concentration are at their highest. Protect this time like it's sacred. Turn off distractions. Set boundaries. When you train yourself to focus deeply, even for 60-90-minute blocks, you'll get more done in a few hours than most people do in a full day. Planning also allows you to build in review and reflection. At the end of each day, ask, what did I accomplish? What didn't get done and why? What will I improve tomorrow? These short check-ins are incredibly valuable. They help you stay accountable, refine your approach, and prevent wasted effort. Time mastery is not a one-time effort. It's a feedback loop. Plan, act, review, adjust. That's how productivity becomes a personal system. Another benefit of planning is peace of mind. When you've mapped out your priorities, you stop carrying them all in your head. You reduce mental clutter and decision fatigue. You start each day with clarity and end each day with closure. Instead of feeling like you're constantly behind, you begin to experience progress, measurable, focused progress. That progress creates confidence, and that confidence fuels even greater productivity. Ultimately, time is life. How you spend your hours is how you live your day, and how you live your days becomes your legacy. If you want to live a high-performance life, you must treat time like gold. Protect it, invest it wisely, and never waste it on things that don't matter. When you master time through planning, you unlock the door to consistent, meaningful success, and you move from being busy to being brilliant. Self-confidence is the foundation of all success. It's the inner belief that you are capable, worthy, and prepared to take on life's challenges and opportunities. Every major achievement, whether in business, health, relationships, or personal growth, begins with confidence. Without it, even the most talented individuals hold themselves back. With it, ordinary people do extraordinary things. The good news is, self-confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. True self-confidence comes from action. It's not about pretending or putting on a show. It's about doing what you say you're going to do over and over again until trust in yourself becomes unbreakable. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's waking up early, completing a task, or stepping outside your comfort zone, you're making a deposit into your confidence bank. Those small wins compound. They form the identity of someone who follows through, no matter what. One of the fastest ways to grow your confidence is through preparation. People often fear public speaking, interviews, sales calls, or new challenges, not because they're incapable, but because they're unprepared. When you take the time to study, rehearse, research, and practice, you eliminate doubt. You walk in knowing your material. You walk in knowing you've done the work, and that preparation transforms fear into certainty. Your self-talk is also a major factor. Confident people monitor and manage the way they speak to themselves. They don't allow the inner critic to run wild. Instead, they use affirmations, visualization, and intentional language. They feed their minds with thoughts that strengthen, not sabotage. Say to yourself daily, I am confident, competent, and in control. Picture yourself succeeding. Visualize each step. The mind responds powerfully to repetition and vivid mental images. Another way to build lasting self-confidence is to surround yourself with people who believe in you. Confidence is contagious. When you're around high-energy, encouraging, goal-oriented individuals, their mindset rubs off on you. Seek out mentors, coaches, peers, and communities that challenge you to level up. Avoid chronic complainers and those who diminish your dreams. They drain your energy and feed your doubts. Your environment matters. Face your fears head on. Every fear avoided becomes a limitation, but every fear conquered becomes fuel. Start small, make the phone call, introduce yourself, post the idea, take the class. With each act of courage, you prove to yourself that you are more capable than you thought. Confidence doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you move forward even when you are. And each time you do, the fear loses its power. Celebrate your progress. Most people are so focused on what they haven't done that they forget how far they've come. Keep a success journal. Write down daily wins, no matter how small. Reflect on challenges you've overcome, goals you've reached, compliments you've received. This practice reinforces your belief in your ability to figure things out. Confidence grows when you acknowledge that you've handled hard things before and can do it again. Lastly, recognize that self-confidence is a skill. It's built through repetition, effort, and intentional growth. It's not about arrogance or pretending to be perfect. It's about knowing your worth, backing yourself, and acting with conviction. When you cultivate unshakable self-confidence, you stop waiting for permission and start taking initiative. You become bold in your decisions, resilient in your setbacks, and unstoppable in your pursuit of success. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life is the moment everything changes. Until then, you are a victim of circumstance, of other people, of bad luck, or of the past. But when you say, no more excuses, no more blame, it's all on me, you reclaim your power. That is the mindset of every high achiever. They don't wait for someone to save them. They don't rely on luck or conditions. They take ownership, period. Responsibility is not about fault, it's about control. You may not be responsible for every event that happens to you, but you are 100% responsible for how you respond. Your reactions, your attitude, your decisions, these are within your control. When you operate from this place of personal ownership, you stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start taking action on the things you can. That shift alone can completely redirect the course of your life. People who succeed consistently are those who have made a habit of accountability. They don't make excuses even when they have a good one. They look in the mirror and ask, what could I have done differently? What can I do better next time? This mindset is rare because it requires humility and courage. But it's also powerful because it puts you in the driver's seat. If you caused it or contributed to it, you can change it. That's empowering. Taking 100% responsibility also means giving up the need to complain. Complaining is a symptom of powerlessness. It's the language of people who've given up control. High performers rarely complain. They either accept a situation or change it. If something isn't working, they look for solutions, not sympathy. If someone is mistreating them, they set boundaries, not excuses. They take action because they know results, follow responsibility. This principle applies to every area of life. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your career. If you're not where you want to be, take a hard look at your habits, your decisions, and your mindset. That might be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Nothing changes until you do. Responsibility is the starting line of all improvement. The more responsible you become, the more influence you gain over the outcomes in your life. One of the strongest traits you can develop is the ability to say, I was wrong, or that was on me. It's a sign of maturity, not weakness. People respect those who own their mistakes and course correct. In contrast, those who constantly point fingers or play the victim end up stuck, resentful, bitter, and powerless. But when you embrace mistakes as learning moments and stay accountable, you grow fast. You also set a powerful example when you take responsibility. Whether you're leading a team, raising a family, or simply showing up in your community, people notice how you handle setbacks. When they see you own your results, they are inspired to do the same. Responsibility is contagious. It creates a culture of trust, excellence, and forward motion, whether in your business, your home, or your personal relationships. Ultimately, taking 100% responsibility is about becoming the author of your life. No more waiting for a break, no more hoping someone else will fix things. You write the script. You choose the actions. You build the habits. You shape the future. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because the person who accepts full responsibility is the person who gets full control. And with that, the ability to create anything they desire. As you move forward in life, remember that everything you need to create the success you desire is already within you. The principles we've discussed today, the power of self-discipline, the importance of learning from the best, the mastery of time, and the unshakable belief in your own potential, are not just strategies. They are the keys to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of. But they only work if you choose to take action. Knowledge without action is nothing more than wasted potential. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And it starts with you, right now. Commit to becoming the person you need to be to achieve your goal. Take responsibility for your choices, your habits, and your results. Focus on growth, progress, and continuous improvement. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, and never stop learning and evolving. The world is full of opportunities, and the only thing standing between you and your success is the decision to believe in yourself and take the first step. So I challenge you, today, right now, make the decision to take 100% responsibility for your life. Own your future. Own your action. Own your dreams. The road to success may not always be easy, but it's always worth it. You have the power to shape your destiny, to unlock your fullest potential, and to live a life of fulfillment and achievement. The time is now. Your future is in your hands. Take the first step toward greatness, and watch as you begin to create the life you've always envisioned.